On these men and the nightmare they somehow survived. December 24th, 1968. Two C-141 transport planes landed Miramar Naval Air Station. On board, the crew of the USS Pueblo. With fanfare as well as famous faces, the crew is about to get a welcome home that few there that day will ever forget.
When the Pueblo returned 20 years ago, this city, this entire county, just opened up its doors in a way that in the last 20 years I've never seen it do such a reception.
This city opened its heart wide to us when we returned. It was a reception like no other.
The good feelings that were transmitted to us by the citizenry of the city and many of the business people in the city made it an enormously successful Christmas and New Year period that just sort of went on for some time after we got home. And it was, of course, Christmas when we got home.
And 20 years later, the good feelings are still there. Along with the Pueblo's commander, Lloyd Booker, there are 8 Pueblo shipmates now living in San Diego County. Having gotten together with all 8 of them for this series, we can easily tell you the county is lucky to have such men. Men who have learned from experiences that few of us can fully comprehend. Over the next few nights, we hope to share with you some of the things they've told us. Most importantly, the lessons they've learned.
Some 11 months ago,
when the Pueblo crew returned home in December 1968, it was after almost a year as prisoners of North Korea. Beaten, tortured, and starved off camera, the world in America got to watch on camera for 11 months as North Korea used the crew for propaganda. Still, it was hard not to notice Lloyd Booker's bloodied left hand as he signed a so-called confession for supposedly spying on North Korea from within its territorial waters, something that had never taken place. For their time and suffering in captivity, the Pueblo's captain and crew were rightly praised as patriots and heroes. On their return home, a court of inquiry not so rightly implied their capture had been something else.
We will make every effort, of course, to bring out all of the facts.
The Navy Court of Inquiry asked why the Pueblo had given up its secret documents and equipment without a fight. The answer was the Pueblo was a spy ship, not a fighting ship. Under fire by the North Koreans, the 2 big machine guns on the Pueblo were useless. They sat on fence posts with no armor, suicide for anyone to use. The fighting help the Pueblo could have gotten, should have gotten, never came.
A 10-knot ship, you can't go very far. You figure they had 4 patrol gunboats, 2 submarine chasers, plus air support against 1 small ship. And we had no real armament of anything that you could count, so we were kind of left out to dry.
We didn't have any way to defend ourselves. We did not give up. We were just overwhelmed. And I really resent it when people say, you just gave up, because we never gave up. The whole time we were there, we never gave up.
Why no American forces came to stop the Pueblo's capture, stop this before it happened, is still a question. In the end, the Pentagon basically dropped the matter. The captain and crew of the Pueblo were left basically holding the ball. But that apparently is history, the basics anyway. Tomorrow night we'll hear from the crewmen of the Pueblo what they've learned from all this, things none of us will likely find in any history books. One crewman was killed during the attack and capture of the Pueblo. He was fireman Dwayne Hodges of Creswell, Oregon. And no story would be complete without also pointing out his sacrifice for his ship and his fellow crewmen.